Livy charged for the top four, St Mirren pile more misery on Celtic, and deadline day news with Ntcham drama at Marseille, and a familiar snake the face returns to Scottish shores. It's episode 7 of the False 90s podcast.
That was class, Sam. Love it.
With me today we have Andy, Marcus, Kyle and Lewis. How are we doing today, guys?
Alright.
Yeah, good man. The whole team is back.
Yeah, we've got a full house.
Full house tonight.
Just a disclaimer, the Celtic game is going on as we record, so if you hear screaming from Andy, you know what's happened. They're 2-0 up at the moment, so...
Yeah. Oh, soon to be 3, hopefully. Dive for
the game out. It wasn't a dive. There was visible contact. He wouldn't have gone down if he didn't feel anything.
No, he did. So
from my experience, both Celtic and Rangers dive about the pitch anyway. So, or whenever they play us, at least.
Ladies.
We're not even a minute in yet. Come on.
If the referee can be deceived, that's his problem.
Handbags back under the table.
Anyway, we have games to go over.
We've got games to go, and we've got transfers to go over as well. We should start with Saturday's games. Where should we start on Saturday?
Who played Saturday again? Was it us?
We played Hamilton.
Ah, yes.
No, you didn't.
Oh, you didn't?
Do we not? Oh, we played St Mirren, right? St Mirren, and we lost, and it was rubbish.
Is that all you have to say?
I just tried to erase the result.
Let's hear your thoughts then.
I mean, we were comprehensively outplayed, from all over the park.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think we would have been better off with 10 men on the pitch because 11 was just too useless. It's hard to justify how bad the result was to the fact that the last time we lost to St Mirren, just lost to them, was 1990. 31 years it took us to lose to St Mirren. I mean, it left us another 20. Lost. Just
well, no, because they didn't beat you 4-0 under Mowbray.
Not in the league.
Okay.
I mean,
that was in 2010,
Yeah,
2007? 2007, but yeah, it wasn't in the league.
Right.
But yeah, they left us 23 points behind. St Mirren's last 10 or 11 games to Celtic, they probably haven't even scored, and it was clear that it's not. I mean, credit to St Mirren where credit's due. They outplayed us, but I don't think this is a St Mirren playing well issue. I think it's a Celtic being abysmal issue. I mean, the team didn't click. Lennon chop and changes the starting lineup every single week. I mean, today on Saturday went where a changing goalkeeper again. He changed from Barkas to Bain. We had Ayer at right back. We had Beaton in the centre, Duffy and Taylor. And Ayer is far out of his depth out wide. He has no pace. He's he should be playing where Duffy is. Duffy should be nowhere near the side at the moment. The only starting decision I agreed with was Sorrow in the holding position with Turnbull and McGregor in front of him. El Yunusi in at number 10 with Griffiths and Edward both up front, which I don't think Celtic benefit from a two-striker system. I think if we can just focus on just service to Edward, then we'll have much better chance. But yeah, I mean, we used all 5 of our substitutions, which are obviously now allowed because Corona, very early into the game. So the team that was playing when we were 1-0 up didn't even have time to settle because it was 1-1, but we didn't have time to see out the game because Len had subbed them all off by the time St Mirren scored again. So I think it was just poor throughout.
Beating St Mirren obviously isn't for everyone, Andy.
No, it takes an elite mentality to beat
Wink. Wink,
the boys in black and white.
Wink, wink. Yeah, that elite mentality that we had tonight.
I've been very impressed with St Mirren this season. Well, so obviously they've dropped in form, but then they have turned up in the past Old Firm games.
They've been
obviously
one of the better
put us at the
teams.
cup.
See, I want to know
Yeah.
on the BBC player ratings whether it's Rangers fans or Celtic fans that are rating the players at 1 out of 10. Probably both.
I mean, Sky's team of the month has got Shane Duffy in it, which is quite embarrassing.
Yeah, I don't think Sky have ever anyone at Sky has ever put on the SPFL though.
I don't think anyone at
Nah.
Sky has ever been to Scotland, so
They've probably not been north.
What about Jim White on deadline day? He's Scottish.
Ah, fair.
yeah, that's a good point actually. Other games on Saturday included a 2-0 win for Hibs at Dundee United, which is a decent result. Marcus, do you want to take over on this one?
Yes, very happy with that. Another, we needed to bounce back from a kind of a better performance against Rangers midweek, but still a loss nevertheless, and also getting dumped out the semi-final by St Johnstone. So yeah, we kind of needed a win to kind of get our momentum back, and we definitely did that. Starting Darren McGregor, well, not just that game, but he came in for the Rangers game as well. Looked absolutely solid. Despite his age, I'm a lot more comfortable with him at the back than Porteous and Hanlon. They're just too sloppy. So yeah, if there wasn't a net in that goal, it would still be, it would have broken apart that stand, or that was absolutely thunderbolt. And Jackson Irvine showing his quality again, with the 2 assists, and then the second one he threads a nice wee ball through for Boyle, and it's good to see Boyle back in the score sheet because he's gotten a lot of criticism. So very happy with it all overall, but I think with that game, it was more to do with Dundee United being poor than us being anything special. They've had a really, really, big problems scoring goals this season. Shanklin had a few chances, but they're kind of shooting themselves in the foot a bit by. Well, I think it's Mickey Mellon. I don't think he's a good fit for that squad. I think I said in another podcast that they could be a lot higher in the league, but I think his mentality keeps them back, and I'm not convinced that he's a right fit. I think.
Sorry to disrupt you, Marcus, but Celtic have scored 3-0.
Oh, have they? Oh well, that's fair. But yeah, no, Dundee United aren't going anywhere with Mickey Mellon, so they were really poor that game, but very happy with the performance from Hibs.
Dundee United
we did what we had to without being spectacular.
From Edward, tasty finish.
Yeah.
Offside though, he looked offside.
He's already scored one that's been ruled out for offside. They're not going to give him a second. He needs this for his
if he's
confidence.
offside, then they would.
Look, if he's not caught offside, he's not offside. It's up to the linesman. It's not up to Edward.
It is. I mean, the linesmen are useless in this league. So
there you go.
Especially when it's against the Old Firm, they always give them a bit of the doubt when it's either the Old Firm. But anyway,
that's 5 shots on target now. I mean, piling on the pressure.
Well, I mean, they're at least they're trying to give him a sort of half chance, thinking 10 in a row's back on, but
yeah.
Well, Dundee United, they've dropped onto
close the gap to 20.
Dundee United, they've dropped into the bottom 6 now, and is that a concern for them that they could be, dragged into the mess of the bottom 6?
Absolutely, because the bottom 6, the teams aren't that far apart in terms of points, so if they continue in a poor run, they could easily be dragged back down there. And I think their only kind of focus this season is staying up. So if they feel like that's in danger, then it's, especially the squad they have. I still think their squad is miles better than the likes of Hamilton, and Ross County. They should be well above there. So concerning for them, definitely, yeah.
Yeah, they've had investment into the squad in previous years. And not too bad of a personnel loss, so you think they should be able to compete, certainly for the top half, that 6th, 5th, 4th place.
Yeah, because at the moment they're sitting 7th, 28, and then St Johnstone 8th on 27, Kilmarnock got 24, Motherwell 22, Ross County 20, and Hamilton 19. I mean, it's only 9 points. That's a poor run of form over a few games, and they could be dragged right into it.
But I think any of the bottom 5 could still go down. I think Dundee United upwards are safe, but I think actually their goal scoring record's pretty poor as well. So
yeah, that's
all it takes is a bad run of form, and they could go down too. So I think certainly the bottom half, when after the split, will be anyone could go down. So I think it's one of the tightest in terms of at the top, it's certainly not the tightest season in record, but at the bottom of the table, it is. It's I mean, the cockroach football club of Hamilton could escape once again.
I think they probably will. I mean,
They probably will, to be honest.
but yeah.
They always love hitting form in like April.
We always love playing on their pitch as well. Riddled with injuries.
Yeah.
Better than the plastic pitch.
Yeah, probably.
Other games on Saturday included a 3-2 win for St Johnstone over Kilmarnock, which was it's a decent result.
Yeah.
They've come back from 2-0 down at half time. I think you can be commended there for St Johnstone. I think that does also pile the pressure and on Kilmarnock as well. Obviously, at the moment they're down 3-0 to Celtic, but
to the point where they got rid of Dyer. So
exactly,
they're obviously very worried. St Johnstone are a team on form, absolutely. I think they're one of the ones that should be safe in that bottom half. They'll probably end up taking that 7th spot from Dundee United, the way they're going now. So, yeah, decent for them. Kelly are kind of just back to being that 9th, 10th place team that they were before Clark came in. And it's disappointing for Dyer as well. He seemed like a really nice guy. He seemed like a good character. He always seemed quite positive. I don't know if Kelly fans rated him that much. I think a lot of them were wanting him out though, even before this season. So,
but I think if you compare anyone to what Steve Clark did for Kilmarnock, I think no one's gonna kind of live up to that. So
exactly, yeah. So tough for them, but we'll need to see who they bring in.
It's not ended well for Alex Dyer.
No. It's a bit of a shame.
You've got the run of results, obviously, and then combined with getting the racist letters sent to the club.
I mean, he joins a long list of black managers given not enough time in a job, I think. I mean, I think they're constantly fired and hired. Fired more than they are hired. I don't think... I mean, Chris Hughton is probably the only black manager to succeed at a high level in recent years. Down in...
Before Dyer, who was the last black manager in the Scottish Prem?
Scotland.
John Barnes.
That sounds like a quiz question.
Probably John Barnes for Celtic in the 90s. I think it was John Barnes. I think I saw an article about when Alex Dyer was hired.
Yeah, that's too long. But regardless, though, I mean, he seemed like a really nice guy. I always kind of liked the way he spoke in interviews. I mean, a lot of times I see other managers speaking, and I'm just like, they come out with absolute nonsense. Like, e.g., Mickey Mellon and Stephen Robinson just came out with the absolute like you know what I mean? Like, what were you saying? But Alex Dyer always was really fair in his interviews, and I kind of respected him quite a lot for that. So I think it's a shame for him. But obviously, if they feel like they're not comfortable with where on the table, they could be dragged into that relegation battle, then they've probably done the right thing for the club. They've seen, obviously, Motherwell have had a bit of a bounce from getting Alexander, and Ross County the same with John Hughes, so yeah, maybe they'll try and replicate that.
It's quite funny that Marcus speaks about Stephen Robinson there, as he's now linked with the Kilmarnock job.
Yeah, that's quite funny. I think that'd be an odd one for Robinson, considering how he was linked with teams in England, and Kelly would be a bit of a sideways move from Motherwell. So,
but Marcus, you need to look at the positives that there is to take away from this.
I'll have to see him after we've scalped Kelly 3-0. I'll have to see him going, "Oh, we controlled the game." like, come on.
There's a couple of positive points to take away from this game.
Yeah. Oh, I always hated it watching him give interviews. It was so annoying. Like, we would batter you every. I think like we've battered you every time you.
You can't say battered around Stephen Robinson. They'll set him off.
Maybe that's a good point to move on to the next game.
I think we should move on.
Change the subject.
To a 0-0 draw between Livingston and Aberdeen. Well,
Stephen Robinson.
A 0 draw between Livingston and Aberdeen on Saturday. They played again tonight. I think we should move on to that one because the 0-0 was boring. Livingston winning 2-0 at Pittodrie. That's a
Good result. Very good result.
Fantastic result for us. That's 14 unbeaten for Livingston. That is mental. With the budget they have, like I know they have a good squad. They've got players like Robinson, but regardless of that, the budget they have compared to even like Motherwell, like that's ridiculous on that budget to go 14 unbeaten in the Premiership. That is astounding. Like
It just shows you if you can get a squad together, money doesn't really matter in a sense.
Yeah.
Like take leagues of Livy.
Yeah.
Lennon just needs to get a conviction and then he can get Livy's kind of form.
Yeah.
Well, maybe
Celtic probably just buy over like half of Livy's players, and they might actually play well.
I think Martindale is actually a Celtic fan, from what I
Yeah,
hear.
he is. I think so.
Maybe maybe he'd be snapped up for the Celtic job, maybe. But
I mean, it makes sense now why he's been arrested on drug charges.
Oh, now we're going to get into that. He's put that
Spicy pod tonight.
He's put that behind him, and he's
Neil snoosed Lennon.
Livingston haven't
I
lost.
mean, he has put that behind him, and I think it's nice to see him like on this amazing run with Livy.
Yeah.
Obviously, being a West Lothian lad myself, you always want to see your sort of local managers do well. I'm not saying I'd back Livy, but if Livy win the League Cup, if they go and beat St Johnstone in the next couple of weeks, then it'll be a massive shock.
It would be a fairy tale for all the Hibs and Celtic fans in Livingston.
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
Well, Livingston
I mean, I
haven't
don't know
lost
if you've
since-
ever actually been to the
I have been to the Tony Macaroni Arena on several times.
But it's like
What
every
stage.
time. It doesn't matter who they're playing. Like if it's Rangers or Celtic, three ends of that stadium go to Rangers or Celtic.
I don't think I'll ever go there again, to be honest. I went there for an away day. Not a chance. We got beat the last time when I went.
Even Hibs
That
and
was
Celtic-
that the time when all the Rangers fans tore up all the seats, and then they decided to close one of the stands for like the rest of the season.
I can't remember that happening at all.
Can you just remember there was a Motherwell fan in this podcast, and the Celtic fan wants to talk about tearing up seats?
Yeah, you're probably the worst for it.
Yeah, tore up seats at Easter Road as well. The Perry
Screw him in better next time.
Was that your joke?
Well,
I remember the season that happened, and it was only an excuse at the end of the season. They done Mastermind, and it was like, what's the best way to create atmosphere at a Celtic game? This, and he just rips the seats off the legs off the chair.
that's what was his name? Declan Carthen, Henrik McCoop or something like that.
Aye, something like
That's
that.
funny. That's funny as hell. That
Endless campaigner for truth and justice.
occupation unemployed.
I'm talking about the other games today. Celtic still 3-0 up as we speak, but Hibs get a 2-1 win over St Mirren at Paisley. With another good result, another bounce back from the poor League Cup result, and then the result against Rangers as well. I think 2 wins on the bounce. There's nothing to complain about at all.
Yeah, I was actually fuming like at 90 minutes because that last 20 minutes was not needed. Happy to get another win. Obviously, we're now back into third against ahead of our game against Aberdeen Saturday, so that's a huge game. But I don't know. Like I was always kind of afraid of tonight because I thought St Mirren are in much better form than Dundee United. So maybe the game on Saturday wasn't the best thing to look at going into this game, but I mean, actually, I think up until their player, they got Anik got sent off.
I didn't see a chance to see the replay on that. Was what was it? Just like handball outside the box or something?
No, I think it was Doyle Hayes played a back pass, and Boyle with his pace just ran onto it, and he was 1-on-1, and Anik just comes out the box and absolutely clears him out.
Yeah, penalty was it?
No, it was outside the box.
Outside the box, right?
So Martin Boyle gets to run on this ball. He took a touch to bring the ball round the keeper, So like if he wasn't floored by Anik, he would have been in on goal.
Yeah.
So it
Sounds
was
like
an
a red card anyway. So
it was an absolute red. So, but the thing is,
a shame for him. He's a great keeper.
yeah, what I'm not happy about is we were actually miles behind them before they got the man sent off. We were second to every ball. They were, you know, they had the better chances, I'd say. They had the bigger grip in the game, so that kind of helped us a wee bit. And I'm not necessarily happy about that because, we kind of needed them to have a man sent off before we looked like we were going to have or make a mark in the game. But
Yeah.
like we came out second half, we looked a lot more attack minded. And we actually scored from a corner for once. Porteous getting a goal, happy for him. First of the season, then we kind of Then I think it's Murphy gets brought down for a penalty. Martin Boyle, strangely, I'd rather have Nisbet on penalties than Boyle, but fair enough. I mean, if Boyle's going to be scoring them, as long as we're putting them away. So 20 minutes to go, 2-0 up. You're thinking we're cruising here against 10 men. Although typical Hibs, we give away a goal, like the silliest goal you'll ever see from a counter-attack right after Boyle scores. And it's just, the thing about St Mirren is they're never out the game. You've seen it against Rangers as well in the League Cup. Like, even when they go down, they're never out the game. Like, Goodwin has them chasing the ball all the time, and they're always up there. So, yeah, I was watching that last sort of 20 minutes, really fearing the worst. I thought, and Murphy goes and hits the post, and you're thinking, oh well, now that Murphy's missed an absolute, great chance, like that's just it's going to be a draw now. But no, we see the game out, and really, I have to be happy with that, I guess. Puts us third place, like I said, and
Challenging for second.
Hopefully, yeah. So
currently at the moment 6 points behind Celtic in second. Celtic obviously got 2 games in hand on Hibs. Aberdeen Hibs are on 46, Aberdeen on 44, Livingston on 39. So there's those 3 teams there. They could be pushing for obviously top 4, top 3. Maybe
I want to see Livingston overtake Aberdeen for 4th and Aberdeen finish 5th. That'd be funny.
If Livingston do get that, that'll be a massive achievement.
That'll be the end of McInnes. It has to be. I mean, a 5th place finish. I don't think the Dons have finished worse than 3rd. Yeah,
no, I don't
under
think
McInnes, they've had a couple seconds, but never worse than 3rd.
I mean, if Aberdeen secure 3rd, that'll be McInnes for another year at least.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Basically, that's all it's on his obligation at the start of the season is 3rd.
We won 3rd place trophy. McInnes in.
I don't think even their fans will be happy with 3rd. I think a lot of them have made their mind up already that they want somebody new in.
Yeah, they need the fresh. They need like that kick again.
Yeah.
I mean, when McInnes was hired, it's because he was young, but he's a bit ancient now.
His pension must be very good there.
It's just because he's been around.
It is kind of like an Arsenal Wenger situation, isn't
it? Yeah.
It's just been this dynasty of Derek McInnes.
I see. I don't think Wenger was a problem. I think it was the board. Like, I think he could have stayed a couple more seasons. Because, I mean, his replacements clearly have also not been backed by the board properly, which makes me think it was internal club problems rather than Arsenal.
I think it's that similar thing at Aberdeen. It's like the board continue to back that. Well, it's not really the same. It is maybe, as Andy said, it's maybe like a reverse where it's like the board back the manager, but the players don't play the manager's style, or he's not got the players in that want, or he's not got the players in that suit his style. Or it's just a thing that's like the fans don't see the results. And McInnes' football isn't exciting. It's nothing on the likes of like Steven Gerrard's got a really nice system, and like I quite like Graham Alexander's, even though I've only seen it for a couple of games.
Yeah.
There's a lot of managers in Scottish football that have really nice systems. Jim Goodwin's another one.
I always hate watching play Aberdeen.
Aye, it's like you've got all these good managers playing this exciting football, and then it's like 3rd place every season's good, but it's like you do kind of want to do it in an attractive way. It's not like you want to play just the most boring game of football. Bag a couple goals and then 3 points.
Like they just cancel us out with their style of football, and it's so like Hibs Aberdeen games are the worst to watch all the time. Like because Hibs are a team that try and play football a lot of the time. And
is that a subtle dig?
Aberdeen, yeah. Well, we're just.
Well, you would hope most teams play football, Marcus. That's what they're paid to do.
I mean by like we're we're a team that try and not under Ross as much, but under like Lennon and Stubbs, we're playing it on the deck, but that Aberdeen style of football always just cancels us out, and it's just the worst game of football.
Yeah, it's the way that Aberdeen play. They always have done it for years.
Yeah, and they always have the upper hand over us as well, because we can never break them down, and then they just go and score like the most stupid goal and then beat us. Like
always counters. Always counters.
I know, it happens all the time against Aberdeen.
Yeah.
So what has McInnes won other than a third place trophy?
Third place.
One league.
A couple second places.
Yeah, when we were at the league, yeah.
Doesn't mean it's not a second place.
I know, I'm not saying it's not. I'm saying when we won at the league, yes.
To be fair, Dundee United were challenging at the same time.
I mean, Motherwell came second the first that first season that Rangers were relegated, right?
Yeah, 2012-13 season with Stuart McCall.
I made a wee meme, just stuck it in the chat about Neil Lennon.
Yeah, well, this is
because it was quite weird. We done that 2012-13 season under Stuart McCall, and then 2 seasons later, we were in a relegation playoff against Stuart McCall. It's just, it was a good season, but it still doesn't negate the fact that McInnes does need to sort of go, and obviously we can talk about their transfers, because it seems to be that McInnes has a very exciting transfer policy.
I thought I'd never have to think about Kamberi again, and
I think we should move on to Aberdeen's transfers. Basically, they've replaced their entire front line. Sam Cosgrove's gone, Scott White's gone.
They're not signed 3 strikers or something like that.
Yeah,
so Sam Cosgrove's gone
3
to
players.
Birmingham, Scott White's gone to Rangers, and Curtis May went to Shrewsbury. Whilst they brought in Callum Hendry from St Johnstone, Fraser Hornby from
Stad Rem,
yeah. Ross McCrory on a permanent, and
I heard Malky Mackay helped bring that Hornby deal in. That was his brainchild, apparently, because he's the director for the SFA, right? But that's what it says here on the news.
And of course, the big news: Florian Kamberi signed from St Gallen in Switzerland, has come back to Scottish football, and.
Ever since Kamberi arrived in Scotland, he wanted to play at Pittodrie. They're the best fans in the world. That's probably what his interview went like. I hope
massive club.
I hope on Saturday.
I love staling out 0-0 draws at Pittodrie.
I hope Darren McGregor snaps him in half on Saturday.
Honestly. Oh, imagine though.
Oh, Darren McGregor.
He's got to start. Kamberi has to start.
I've always been a big fan of sheep since I was a young child.
Yeah.
Kamberi hasn't scored or assisted.
There's something about that drab granite exterior of Pittodrie that's always been on the posters of my childhood home.
Yeah.
Any folk that are at uni up in Aberdeen are always the first to come home for Christmas, but will always tell you Aberdeen's the best city in Scotland.
I don't know about that.
They clearly have not been to any other city then.
All the people I know who are at Aberdeen Uni hate the city pretty much. It is boring as hell, and there's the good thing about Edinburgh. It's really green. Green's a nice colour anyway, but shrubbery and that, and trees, and then Aberdeen's just no parks, or as far as I can see,
grey.
No parks, all just grey. I know.
They've got a new bypass.
Yeah, there's Ramsco at average speed cameras, and then speed camera. And then another speed camera, and then you get to Stonehaven, and look, it's another speed camera.
Since when is this a Scottish tourism podcast?
I'm just going to lead this on to another ex-Rangers, ex-Hibs player. I know it's not SPFL, it's the Championship, but Jason Cummings to Dundee. Strange
dog.
I hope he continues his record of scoring against Hearts. That'd be nice.
He probably would, to be fair. He probably like that.
He will. He's going to score against them at some point. He just will. So
good signing for Dundee. He's thinking.
Yes, because he's Championship level, I think.
Yeah.
I want to know why there's such a duopoly between players moving between Hibs and Rangers.
Better club.
I can't really argue against. I can't really argue against that. Jamie Murphy. He was good.
Yeah.
He was good tonight as well. He's been out of sorts the last month, but he had a good game tonight. He won the penalty, so hope we keep it. Well, we will keep it in the season. So
I've always said Murphy would be a good signing for you. It's just his pace is.
I don't
Considering his age, his
understand
pace
the
is
Simpson
listening.
signing for Rangers. I mean, he's only on loan till the end of the season. Like, why not just, if you're going to make it permanent, like if he's going to future proof, why not wrap it up in the summer? It just means you're paying his wages for 6 more months.
who's this?
Right.
Jack Simpson.
What position is he?
He's
Well,
a defender.
Andy, not gonna. I don't think Stephen Gerrard's going to listen to a Celtic fan's opinion.
Oh,
I trust.
Well,
I
it's
trust,
not.
trust, I trust,
He's
I
not going
trust
to break
in
into the
Gerrard.
starting 11. But
No,
I
of
feel
course
like
he's not.
the board probably just made the.
But if
it's
he
probably
challenges
one
in training, he can challenge the likes of Goldson, Katic when he comes back as well. It's
fair,
not. It's cover. And
they loaned out
if he plays
Edmondson as
well, then
well.
he's good. Well, he can't
They
be as
loaned
bad as
out,
Duffy.
They loaned out Edmondson as well, so it's a centre back out, a centre back in.
Yeah, it's just the replacement.
And you're also bringing in an English Championship quality centre back, and it's not like
Yeah.
Bournemouth are a bad team. So he probably could slot into that Rangers squad if he applies himself enough.
Yeah, if he
In
challenges,
the training,
if prizes on the training, yeah.
it's the same with the other guy that you signed from Bournemouth that's coming at into the start of the 21-22
Ntcham
season.
Obaforo, though. He's gone on loan to Wickham, right?
Yeah.
He's currently at Wycombe Wanderers, yeah. And then obviously that's another player that you can put in that midfield again if they can compete with like a Rebo, Ryan Jack.
Yeah, and I don't know how long Davis has got left in the tank, but I assume he's got a couple more years. Oh, that's Celtic 4.
Hey, I just got the ping.
Mm-hmm. Looks like a solid performance from Celtic anyway. I can't just say that for once.
A rare performance. Although, that was Ayer's been taken off to receive treatment, but he's not been subbed off, so he's playing on. So
Scott Brown with the assist. Oh my god.
I forgot.
Scott Brown with a goal and an assist. Jeez.
Scott, what do you mean Scott Brown? I think you mean Scottish Iniesta.
Oh my god.
God, I hate him.
Oh Jesus.
Scottish Iniesta is anyone. It's Glenn Kamara at the moment.
Glenn Kamara's not Scottish.
Yeah, but he plays in the Scottish League.
He's Finnish.
He's in the Scottish League though.
He's not finished. He's only Premier.
Yeah, but if Iniesta played in France, he still wouldn't be the French
Iniesta's
Iniesta.
not Japanese because he plays in Japan now.
Hey Marcus,
Yeah.
he's not finished, he's only 25.
He's only 25. Come on, guys.
Nah, but you meant like in the Scottish League. But yeah, no, I wouldn't say Scott Brown's any sort of comparison to any Iniestas at all.
I don't think that's the point, but
David Turnbull.
You're comparing him to Iniesta. You like to say the Scottish Iniesta. That's pretty cringe and embarrassing.
I mean,
it was a backhanded compliment because I have spent the last month slagging him off like rotten.
But he's still your captain though.
Well, he's club captain, but on the pitch captain is probably Callum McGregor pulling all the strings at this point.
Yeah, I don't know why he's not.
It's like Scott Brown's like that old man that they wheel out to for the Celtic Daz to get the hey,
No, it's no.
Should we move on
When he plays his last game for Celtic, you will put a banner out that says "Captain, Leader, Legend." Don't deny that. It's going to be like Dougie Emery at Hamilton. We all
Sack the
hate
board.
him, but you'll still put a banner out for him.
The reason Scott Brown's not turned on Lennon because the only reason he's still getting played is because Lennon's the manager.
What happened to the Griffiths Lennon incident?
Griffiths is always having an incident. I don't care anymore.
Well, I'm asking the question. What happened?
He just
I want to know the
was
odds.
being annoying. He was annoyed about being benched, so he was like, "I want to start," and then they were like, "All right, you can start," and then he was like, "Actually, no, I don't want to play anymore." Just
Yeah, because he's seen the odds on him to be benched.
An absolute child.
It's like a wee penny on
He
it.
probably had the coupon on.
Lee Griffiths to be
he
benched.
just doesn't want to be there, but he doesn't want to play for Celtic, but he doesn't want to leave the club because he knows he won't get wages elsewhere. Like, I'm not trying to be a cynic. I'm not being Celtic Twitter.com/Celtic cynic, but that's probably you get that case to loads of players. They'd rather Bale at Madrid. He'd rather stay out his contract than improve himself.
Well, I
Cool.
would.
Should we move on for transfers?
Oh yeah, we're going to touch on the Celtic transfers while we're talking on talking about
Transfers.
Celtic. One in, one out. At
Oh,
Celtic
let's hear them.
yeah.
Let's hear them. Let's hear them.
Oh,
on deadline day. George Kennedy on loan from Everton. It seems like he's barely played. Really.
I mean, he's right back cover, which is something we needed, but we needed a centre back more importantly, which we didn't get because Liverpool poached Ben Davies, not the Welsh one, at the very last minute. They poached him from Preston, so that was a bit disappointing because we'd announced him and we'd agreed. Celtic had briefly announced on their page that we'd signed him and we'd agreed pre-contract terms. He was flying to Glasgow, and then suddenly, an hour later, Liverpool post a picture of him in a Liverpool shirt, and so that's Mo Johnson-esque embarrassment there. And then John Joe Kenny was a sort of panic purchase, I think.
I think he's played 35 games since 2014. Last time I checked on the stats.
He had a poor loan stint at a very bad Schalke team last season.
Uh-huh.
But everyone was rubbish at that Schalke side, so.
Still are.
Yeah.
it was a weird one though. Liverpool went with, let's not sign the centre back. It's fine. Van Dijk will come back. We can play Fabinho or Henderson in there. To sign in Ben Davies and is it Kazbak?
Yeah, Kazak from
Or Kazak, yeah.
Turkish guy from
Schalke.
Schalke.
A team who have won one game all season. It's just madness.
Yeah, Preston aren't sitting too pretty either, and they're at 14th in the championship. But yeah, and obviously the signing of the night, in terms of eventfulness for Celtic, was the last minute loan move away for Olivier Ntcham.
Oh.
So Marseille paid a 5 million loan fee to take Ntcham, which was quite substantial for a loan fee. However, in the summer we rejected 16 million for a permanent move for Southampton, right, for Ntcham. But now his contract expires in the summer, so Marseille will probably take him on loan to make him permanent. However, the sheer signing of Olivier Ntcham was enough to make Andre Villas-Boas quit his job. So
I'm gonna come back to this because I'm outside of Scotland. Olympique Marseille is my team, but Allium, but he's not resigned. It's more that the board at Marseille have had this thing where they just sign players and then sort of push them into training and go, "Oh, Andre, have you met Dimitri Payet?" And just going for talking sake. Like, well, we've signed him, so just fit him in wherever you want. Just make him feel at home. And this is what's happened with Ntcham. AVB hasn't known until this morning that.
He said he saw the announcement on the club website.
Yeah, so he didn't the board had never communicated to the manager, "We've signed you a centre mid or centre defensive mid," in a club that has Morgan Sanson, Kamara.
Didn't Sanson sign for Villa though?
I don't know if he has signed for Villa yet. I don't know if it went through. There was talk about that.
Yeah, he did. 13
He
million
did.
apparently.
He did. So it's probably likely then that Ntcham's coming in for Morgan Sanson. It just depends.
I mean, it's just financial mismanagement from Celtic at this point. If Neil Lennon had no intention of playing Ntcham, why did we not take the 16 million for him 10 months ago that we rejected from both Porto and Southampton? And then we get 5 million as a compensation for Marseille, who will then take him in the summer. And it's just seems poor club management, and hopefully Dominic Mackay will come in and start producing some good in the summer. Because Peter Lawwell has he's had 17 fantastic years at Celtic, but I think the year that mattered most of them all, he's tarnished a bit.
Marseille's ruined anyway.
No, Marseille aren't in good shape at all.
What's next on the agenda then?
Suppose it's her
Are
signing,
we
isn't
Are
it?
we doing a quiz or?
No, we've still got loads of time left. I think if we want to touch.
I
any
can
more
quickly
signings.
rattle through the Motherwell signings.
Ah, yeah, cool. You've been busy, haven't you?
Been very busy.
Still got
doing
Rangers
Alexander.
signings as well. Marcus, you're trying to jump the quiz pretty quick, mate.
All right.
So I'll just run through them quickly. Tyler Maguire, I think it is. I don't really know much about him. Came from Blackburn. I just know he's very pacey from FIFA. As Stephen O'Donnell extended his contract. Eddie Nolan, another defender from Crew Alexandra, and Jordan Roberts from Hearts, who I've
That's a
heard is
strange
one of the
one.
most abysmal players to ever play in the Scottish Championship. So I'm
That's
not
really odd.
It's strange that he's
No.
A, that he's gone out on loan if he's that poor for Hearts, and B, gone out on loan to a team in a higher division.
Yeah, that's really strange.
Charles Dunn signed a new deal, but that's just for rehabilitation from his injury. And
So
we were
did,
told Jamie Semples came back from Cove Rangers. I don't know if he's going to go out on loan again or if it's just we're just hanging off with him. And Robbie Crawford has made his sort of loan permanent from Livingston. But other than that, there's not much else.
Didn't O'Donnell signed a new deal, or extended the deal to the end of the season?
He's extended his deal.
Yeah, cool.
The worrying ones are Declan Gallagher hasn't extended his deal and Alan Campbell haven't extended their deal. So I think this signifies the end of the season. They are gone.
That's it. I mean, that's terrible from a Motherwell point of view. Like, because Campbell's probably the biggest asset well, in terms of value, he's the biggest asset that you've got in the club at the moment, probably. And he'll, a young player with potential, and you're looking at letting him go at the end of the season for free. I mean, that's not ideal, but
He needs to put pen to paper. If he doesn't put pen to paper soon, we're going to lose money.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
That, like a player like Alan Campbell, who I would say is just a class slightly above.
Oh, full time. There we go.
I would say he's just a class above David Turnbull, slightly. But
Different roles, though. Different roles in the midfield.
yeah,
but
granted, one's a number 10, box to box, and Alan Campbell's like that holding defensive midfielder. But it's just, where do you go from here? If he renews his deal, we could probably get more for him than David Turnbull, I reckon. And
Well-
the money that we got from Turnbull we put into the youth development, which is great, but I'd rather get the money from Alan Campbell and go out and try and get like someone that improves the side greatly
How much did you get for Turnbull?
in the midfield. I want to say about 2.4.
I think when it was
2.3.
first going to go through, but he failed the medical, it was 1.5. But we upped it because that was 1.5. But then add-ons were going to be added and stuff
Yeah.
for appearance base. But then Celtic, it was 2.3 total with no add-ons instead. So the year later, which is probably better for Motherwell because you never know if you're going to get the add-ons. So I think they're probably happier to see the extra 900k.
I know it absolutely smashed the record transfer fee when he went to Celtic for Motherwell, because the record transfer fee at the time was Phil O'Donnell, way back.
Yeah.
But I don't. Yeah, just where's Declan Gallagher down south probably, Alan Campbell probably also down south, or the likelihood is that like a Rangers or a Celtic will probably come in for him. There was talk of Hibs, but obviously signings that they've made now,
I think our midfield's fine.
I think
as
your
it is,
midfield's
yeah.
fine. No, I'm happy, but it's just I don't know where all these players that we've just signed are going to fit into the team. It seems to be we're really stocked up at the front. There's like Tony Watt, Devante Cole. I could go on for hours about like all the front players, and then at the back's like Gallagher, Lammy, Jake Carroll, Nathan McGinley, Liam Grimshaw, Stephen O'Donnell. It's already okay. Declan Gallagher as well, but I just don't know where we're going with these signings. I think they're just sort of in there as backup and to give us more squad depth. But obviously Alexander has a plan, and we'll see how that goes tomorrow against Dundee United.
Should be a good game.
Should be a good one. A key one as well. Cal, do you want to touch on Ranger transfers?
Can do, yeah. So we started off with Vandenbacher going to Oxford United. Doesn't really surprise me that he's gone on loan. Hope he does well on his loan and comes back Barker's always been a pacey player from likes of when he was at Hibs. Obviously, his hair has probably let him down a wee bit, but anyway. Another loan that's gone out is Edmondson as well to Derby County. Good for him. Hope he does well on his loan spell. Obviously, he's kind of let himself down a bit with the whole John Jones incident at the party. That was a bit of that's probably ruined his career as a. I don't know if he'll come back from that really, because his numbers now moved on to one of our new signings, which can lead on to Jack Simpson, signed from Bournemouth. We touched on that briefly in this pod. Good signing. I hope he'll be. Just a more cover for our defence, really. And then obviously probably the biggest one of the Rangers transfers is Scott Wright. Obviously they both signed on a pre-contract deal, but Gerrard paid something like 160k, I think, for them to come early. I hope to see Scott Wright. Hope he does well at Rangers. Again, it's probably more cover for the likes of Ryan Kent, but he's a great fast player. Seen him at Aberdeen a few times. That's like a bit really, and hopefully win a trophy this year.
Yeah, well.
Time for my quiz.
Oh, you got one?
Quiz time.
I do. I have a Scottish. It's a Scottish football history quiz. So records that Scotland holds in history.
Guarantee these will all be Celtic answers, by the way.
No, they're
no one
most
knew.
of them
No
are.
one knew.
There's not a single Celtic one. Well, there might be. I can't remember. So, first one. In the 1974 World Cup, Scotland became famous as being the first team to get knocked to the World Cup despite not losing a game. Who were the three teams they played against?
74.
France?
Nope.
Not Peru.
No, Peru is the next World Cup.
Oh damn.
New Zealand were one of them.
Nope.
Mexico.
Nah.
Nope.
We
had a European country, an African country, and a South American country.
Scotland
Brazil.
and Mexico have never played a competitive
Brazil,
game.
yeah.
Oh my god.
But
I got a point for Brazil then.
You do get a point for Brazil.
Chile?
Ooh.
Chile.
No, Chile.
Chile. No,
Yeah.
Brazil was the South American club. So you got a European and an African club.
Oh, of course.
Germany.
No.
Cameroon.
Czechoslovakia.
No, but you're along the right lines with Czechoslovakia.
Yugoslavia.
Nope.
This is all just gonna be some just shouting random countries out in there.
Yugoslavia.
Nope. They used to be a phenomenal side, but they
Hungary.
they suffered from dissolution.
Oh, Yugoslavia. Yugoslavia, right.
Yugoslavia, yep.
Alright.
The most other country? Where are they?
And the last one is an African country, who also is no longer a country.
Ghana. I don't know, I'm just guessing.
I'm no
Zaire.
longer a country.
Zaire, yep.
Bloody
There you
hell.
go. So that's one for Sam, one for Marcus, and one for you. And the next
Me, I have a
question.
name.
I rate that question. That was good.
The next question is about the record for the two closest stadiums. I mean, we all know which city it is.
Okay, yeah.
It's Dundee and Dundee United.
Yes.
They are the two closest stadiums in the world, the two closest rivals. But how far apart are the two stadiums from pitch to pitch?
200
What's this
feet.
from like centre circle to centre circle kind of thing?
Yeah, from centre circle to centre circle.
200 feet.
168 metres.
It is a nice round number, though.
300 feet.
It's not feet.
200
Oh,
metres.
I should argue that it's in nice metric units.
200
400 meters.
Mm,
500 metres.
it's closer. It's much closer than you think.
Six-
Really?
300 meters.
300 meters indeed.
Can I
yeah,
just say like
exactly,
across the street?
It's exactly 300 meters.
Across the street.
299.9 meters from center circle to center circle.
Wow.
That's a mental, isn't it?
Yeah. And got another question.
Hmm.
So, famously, the first team to defeat Real Madrid in a European final were Aberdeen in 1971.
Wow.
They
Okay.
beat them in the Cup Winners' Cup. Which city was this played in?
Gothenburg.
Oh, he's got it straight away.
Yes.
Well done, Marcus.
There you go.
Quite
Quick.
impressive.
Because they always go on about Gothenburg, don't they? So
Just don't listen to them.
aye.
Any more questions?
And I've got another one. Where is it? I wrote it down. I got a link. This one's a bit. You guys, I'm pretty sure you guys will get this.
Okay.
Who was the first Scottish club to be, the first British club? Sorry, first British club, because that's why it's the record to play in European competition.
Hibs.
Yeah. They played in the first round in 1955, the first round of the European Cup. They actually ended up beating one leg against Frankfurt, who would obviously lose to Real Madrid in the final.
Yeah. I've got the T-shirt.
No,
I think it was the 40 years anniversary of that. I've got the T-shirt. It's first British club in Europe. It's my granddad gave it to me. That it's like about 2 sizes too big for me, but I've still got it just because it's special. But yeah, who got the point for that, by the way? Because me and Sam were close there.
It was literally both of you literally were in sync for that one.
Yeah.
Half a point.
Yeah, you said it at the same time.
A point.
Oh, sorry. I said Frankfurt. I meant Reims. Frankfurt was the next year. Real Madrid beat Frankfurt. The largest. A question I was going to pick was the largest ever attendance for a football match was where, and it was Real Madrid Frankfurt at Hampden in 1966. 56.
So are we splitting the point then, or what are we doing?
Yeah, so I'd say a point each.
Yeah.
Since you both got it. But yeah, Hibs beat Rennes in one match, who lost to Real Madrid in the final. But yeah, so that's one apiece and 2 for Marcus, 2 for Sam.
A fun fact, by the way, back in those days, they invited teams to the European Cup. They didn't, qualify. So they invited teams based on how famous they were and, how much the crowds they thought they would bring. And they invited Hibs because they thought we would bring big crowds. And because, we were one of the biggest teams in Britain at that time. We'd just won 2 Scottish titles in a row. So we were one of the foremost British teams.
The hilarious anti-English sentiment that no English clubs competed till the late 60s was funny, I think, as well.
Yeah. So Pioneers, my club, Pioneers. So brilliant. Next question then.
Oh, that was them all.
Was it?
The 5, yeah.
All right.
So we got a tie between Sam and Marcus, I think.
Really?
You get our question then.
Oh, I'll find a tiebreaker then. Okay, so the oldest trophy in the world is the oldest trophy in all of the world is the Scottish Cup, right?
Yeah.
It's also the heaviest national trophy of all the trophies because it's made of solid silver, which makes the original Scottish Cup the heaviest trophy you can win as a national cup. It was first awarded in 1874. Who won the cup?
Queen's Park.
Yep.
Yes.
How did you know that?
No, he must have some like.
He's got Wikipedia open.
They won.
They beat Clyde.
Because Amazon speaker.
They won 10 Scottish Cups, all in the 1800s.
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
They beat Clyde 2-0 in the final.
Fair play, Marcus.
Nice. That's 2 quizzes for me.
One for myself.
I think the only one you haven't won, Marcus, is the one you did. So.
Yeah. Fair.
Math on next
100% record then.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Nice.
Are we going to go over the fixtures for this week then?
Well, we've got 3 more games tomorrow, which took on, and then we've got some games at the weekend as well. So it's worth touching on the ones tomorrow. Hamilton versus Ross County is a 6:00 kickoff between 11th and 12th. So it's a proper relegation 6-pointer.
Yeah.
I think Ross County will get the win in this.
The same here. I think I'm going to say 2-0. I think they've had a few good results recently, so
yeah, I'll probably say 2-0 as well, to be honest.
1-0 County, I think. Ollie Shaw with a goal.
2-1 County for me, with a late win.
2-0 County. We'll bounce back.
You like to see Hamilton.
God, this is going to be embarrassing when County lose, isn't it? We got
that wee voice pick there as well, Andy.
Great predictions for County.
Just to see Hamilton at the bottom of the table, so.
Well, they are at the moment, so.
Yeah.
Right. I don't think it'll be a comfortable win. A comfortable 2-0.
Hamilton always take these 6-pointers, so that's the problem.
Yeah, to be fair, they do.
I mean, Hamilton relegated you one time.
rather not talk about it.
Brought back a dark memory for me there. Anyway.
Another 6 o'clock kick-off is Motherwell versus Dundee United. Kind of touched a little bit on it earlier. This one should
be a good game anyway.
Should be an interesting one, yeah.
As long as Motherwell can score a goal, they'll win, because I don't think Dundee United will do anything. So
just need to feed the strikers.
United, well, they've not been doing that all season, and I doubt they'll start tomorrow. I think Motherwell will win comfortably, probably 2-0, I'd like to say. I don't know what you think, Lewis.
3-0.
3-0.
Oh, that's confident.
That's confident, yeah. United
I'm actually not going to go for anyone to win. I'm going to say a draw for this game, to be honest.
I'm going to go for 1-1.
I think the sensible verdict for me would be a Motherwell win, because I just can't see Dundee United scoring a goal, and so I think Motherwell will at least score one. So I think 1-0.
Yeah,
I think it'll be 1 each.
That's probably a safe bet from Kyle, because this kind of game has got a draw all over it. A team like Dundee United just draw. They win. I don't know.
They do get, like, obviously they've been pretty poor, but they do get like the odd one game where they're actually half okay.
And then they end up drawing.
Obviously, you would think Motherwell would win, and like obviously I'm going to go for a draw just because I think that would be that game that Dundee United will turn up in. But obviously it's at Fir Park as well.
Yeah, they did win it for a Park at the start of the season.
They did.
Yeah, but that's under Robinson.
Yeah, I'll probably go for a draw for this game, to be honest.
Fair.
And the 7:45 kick-off on Wednesday is Rangers versus St Johnstone, the league leaders.
3-0 for me. I think St Johnstone will put up a bit of a fight, but Rangers will too much again. 2 or 3, I think.
I think I'm going to agree. I'm going to go for about 4-1.
Ooh.
Okay. Andy, what are you thinking?
2-2 for me.
You're just hoping. That's just hope right there. Desperation.
I mean, if it does come true, well, is that 10 in a row back on, Andy?
Well, actually, I'd like a win, but I'm a realist, so
Quite clearly.
I don't think 10 in a row. I mean, sure. I mean, until Rangers wrap up the league title, or Celtic wrap up, until somebody wraps up the league title, 10 in a row is theoretically still on.
Of course
but
it is, yeah.
I'm a realist, not a dreamer. So, and we haven't drawn an Old Firm in quite a few matches, so I'd say 2-2 because it's not happened for a while. That's the only thing of me.
Well, hasn't happened in a while.
Bad enough to keep the pressure on Lennon, but good enough to take points off Rangers. So, well, I guess I should want a win because it ruins your unbeaten season in the league. So let's say 2-1 Celtic.
Celtic?
What are you on about? We're talking about the Rangers St Johnstone game.
Rangers St Johnstone. Yeah. Why? There's an Old Firm. Sorry, I'm tired. Let's say 2-1 St Johnstone. There you go. Because then you lose your unbeaten streak. For the same reasons.
I thought you were a realist, though.
Not a hint of bias here, by the way.
Yeah.
I thought you were a realist, though, Andy.
Look, I'm a statistician. There you go.
So you're not a realist anymore, then?
St Johnstone have won. Yeah. If I'm a realist, I mean, St Johnstone have won 2 on the bounce now. You know, they've got the Zelstudio Cup final. That's more than you have.
They do, yeah.
So
I think if anything,
I think they can win.
Also more than you have.
It'll be
Also more than you as well, yeah.
we made a Scottish Cup final this season. What are you on about?
That was last.
You made it last season.
Did we or did we not make it during the duration of this season?
Nah.
But it's last season's trophy.
But we won a final.
Last season's trophy, yes.
Have you won a final?
Not yet, no. Not yet this season, no. Right, so Rangers St Johnstone at Ibrox. 3-0 for Rangers. It'll be St Johnstone will put up a fight, yeah. I still think Rangers have that too much quality in the midfield to. I think in the end, I don't think it will be as easy as people think it would be. But yeah, 3-0.
On Saturday, we have Celtic playing Motherwell, not Rangers.
I need my sleep.
At Parkhead, 3 o'clock kickoff. That could be one that's interesting. We both got Celtic and Motherwell fans, so I'll let you guys go for it.
4-1.
Now can I do my whole I'm a realist speech? Let's say, for simple sake, 1-0 Celtic. We're leave it late, 81 minutes. David Turnbull scores the winner.
Well, I'm a realist, so I think it'll be 3-1 Motherwell. No, I'm a realist, guys. So I think it will be a draw.
It's good that we're all realists, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I think it'll be a draw. I think
No,
Motherwell will leave it late though.
I'm a realist, so I'll say 8-0 Motherwell on the basis that Hibs can catch up and probably get second. So that's my realistic prediction.
Now, as a devoted member of the Motherwell Truth and an endless campaigner for justice,
And a realist.
And
and a realist, I'll go with 4-1 Celtic.
wow.
It just it happens.
That's a
all the
proper
time.
realist.
It does happen though. It's like we can't play against Celtic or Rangers, so
I mean, he did. He played against us very well.
but you still won.
No, it was a draw.
And it was a
last
draw. Is
No,
everyone
I'm thinking-
tired
I'm
tonight or
think-
something?
No, I'm thinking about the first time.
It's on Monday, like
Tuesday.
We're literally Hibsing this podcast right here.
Yeah.
Come on, guys. Oh dear me.
Anyway, I'm a
Okay.
realist. I'm going to
I
say
think you should
1-1.
wrap up now, to be honest.
Yeah,
But
I think
Come on, we've got like 5 more games to get through. Livingston versus St Johnstone.
2-0 Livy. Livy will turn out a 2-0 win. No bother.
I think, I think 2-1 as well. Livy. But St Johnstone will put up a good fight. That'll be another good game to watch as well.
I'm going to say 3-1
Yeah, that will.
Livy.
2-0 Livy.
I think Livy are going to go on a bit of a rampage and go for what I gave them last week, 3-0. I know they beat Aberdeen 2-0, but I'll go for 3-0 again.
And then we got Ross County versus Dundee United, another relegation scrap-ish.
Who you're playing Dundee United? You were
Ross
cutting out
County.
a wee bit, Sam.
Ross County.
Ross County. 1-0 County. I think another one where Dundee United will fall short.
I'm thinking a draw, to be honest. I'll go 1 each.
I'm going for 2-0 County, I think.
That screams 0-0 to me.
Yeah,
Nah,
to be fair,
it
I wouldn't be
screams 0-0 to
surprised.
me as well.
I can see them scoring. I can see both teams scoring.
Can you really see Dundee United scoring?
Well, they can't go forever without scoring, can they?
Yes.
They'll get-
They'll need to get an odd goal now and again.
They'll get a scrappy one for like a set piece, but they won't create anything from open play.
We've also got St Mirren versus Kilmarnock.
Ooh, that'll be interesting.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting.
I'm going to say 2-2 for that. I think that'll be a high-scoring draw.
Yeah.
St Mirren looked good tonight against us. I know Kelly... Well, depending on who Kelly bring in, I still think...
As if they bring in anyone by then.
Yeah, so it probably depends on that, but based on Kelly's squad, they have a very good squad. I think that could be a high-scoring one. So yeah, I'll say 2-2 draw.
I think
I'll match the scoreline of Sir Alex Ferguson's retirement match and say 5-5.
Is it because you're a realist?
That's
I think that will be a very good game. Very even possession, I think, as well. Both trying to counter each other. I think it'll be high scoring as well. I'll probably think 2-2 as well, to be honest. Or if not, then I think St Mirren will get...
It's a 10-goal thriller, I tell you.
Okay. Okay. Just like how Marcus said last podcast, the Rangers Hibs game was going to be 5 each.
I'm continuing the legacy.
We're gonna have a 5 each prediction every week from now on.
It's bound to happen. Like
One
at
day
least
it's gonna
one
come
time,
true.
right? It can not happen.
I mean,
Uh,
Hibs and Motherwell drew 6-6 before, so you never know.
I'm
Right,
going to go
anyway,
for this one. I
what's
think
the next
Eamon
game?
Brophy hasn't really done that much for St Mirren at the moment. I think this is the game where he
He was
get.
silent tonight. I didn't notice him at all in the game. I thought Christian Dennis was their biggest threat tonight, and they brought him off for a goalie when they got a man down, and then they brought on Obika. But honestly, Brophy didn't do anything.
I think this is the
substantial for
game
me.
where Brophy gets into life against his former club. I'm going to say 3-2 St Mirren. Brophy scoring a last minute winner.
Oh,
Just for the scenes, really. And the other game on Saturday is a big one. Hibs versus Aberdeen
mm-hmm.
Oh no!
At Easter Road.
at Easter Road.
So
Yeah, I'm not confident. Or no, I should be confident.
should be confident.
uh,
I think Hibs will beat them.
I think if we lose this game, then we don't finish any higher than third for me. Or it's this is a really must win game, and we know Jack Ross's record in must win big games. So, but at the same time, Aberdeen have been rotten. So to be honest, I can see it being quite a poor game of football actually. Like I said, Hibs Aberdeen's never an exciting one. So,
There was
sorry
that
to say,
3-0
I
last.
think it'll
There
be-
was that 3-0 last season. That was quite exciting.
Oh, that was one of the best home games all season. But no, this will be a bore fest to be honest. I hope Hibs. I'll say 1-0 Hibs because I really hope we can just scrape it. But it'll be a poor game of football. I wouldn't be surprised if it's a draw. But yeah, I'll say 1-0 Hibs for now. Because that'll put us comfortably in third. So yeah, fingers crossed for that.
I think I'm going to go off what Mark is saying. Is that it's going to be a poor game of football. I'm going to say a 0-0 draw.
Oh,
Ooh.
we've not had a 0-0 ages. I think our last 0-0.
I think we
was
drew one.
That's another record Scotland owned. The only ever league football season to have no nil-nils back in 1874.
You've just ruined a good quiz question we could have on next week, mate.
Stop it.
Aye. Stop that, you.
I've actually seen now. Look at this. If Aberdeen get their signings together and they do get off a good start, I can see this game being a draw. But if Hibs play well, Hibs will win. It's very, very. I'm going to go for like a neutral draw here. I'm probably going to go for a 1 each, but I do think that Hibs have a slighter advantage.
Now that I've said 0-0 and that what you said about the signings, I feel like Kamberi is going to score. And
Imagine,
no, Sam,
though.
don't even.
Imagine.
No, Sam, I'm not thinking about that. Don't even.
Quote this if he does score.
I'm going to stick with 0-0, but yeah.
I'll say 1 each.
That's a 1-1 for me as well.
I
Yeah.
want to think about Kamberi right now, honestly.
Points apiece.
Anyway.
A goal apiece, points apiece.
And on Sunday, there's only one game. Hamilton welcomed the visit of Rangers to the Fountain of Youth Stadium and the Spice of Life North Stand.
Oh yes. It's some ground that you're going to tell your kids in the future, oh yes, best stadium in Scotland.
I'll wrap that quickly. 4-1 to whoever. 4-1 at Rangers. And then
4-1. No, I'll say 4-0 to Rangers.
I
I think it's going to be a drubbing.
it pains me to say that, but they'll score 4. It's Hamilton.
Then they score 8 against them in November. I reckon they're going to put like 6 past them.
But this is away form.
Yeah, but it's Hamilton. So
What do you mean it's away form?
As in, Douglas Park is a fortress for Hamilton. They only concede 4 at home.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Rangers away form.
No, I meant as in, like, most teams play poorer away, so I don't think they'll score 8 against
It'll just
Hamilton
be
away.
I don't know. It won't be 8. If it is, then I'm probably going to underpredict this because obviously I'm a realist. So
As a realist.
10-0 Rangers.
I'm going to say 3-0. Yes.
That seems very fair. That seems like a realistic scoreline.
Really? See?
Well, he did say it was a
realist,
realist.
Andy.
Yeah.
Take notes.
A realist and a pessimist is different, though.
Is it?
And
A
on
pessimistic-
that terrible disappointment.
It's the end.
I know. Depends. If you're really pessimistic, you'd say a draw, but I don't think we're being that pessimistic about a team that haven't gone beaten yet in the league.
Yeah, I don't think there's any need to be that pessimistic.
Yeah, nah, I think Rangers are comfortable in this.
But there is something to be pessimistic about, and that's the end of the pod. Thank you guys for joining me, and we'll join you again next week.
See you later.
See you guys.
Bye.
The False 90s podcast is available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, Podbean, and our website at false90s.wordpress.com. For updates, follow False 90s on both Twitter and Instagram. And a big thank you to Fransisco Aluear and his track Space Game, which is our theme tune.